All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Monday, June 10th, 2024. I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzo'S and Marcus Fine. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Doing good, man. I'm impressed. You got the date right and everything. So we're already
We're off to a fire
good,
start.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
Only 16 minutes late.
Well, I had somebody ask me if we were going live tonight. I said, yeah. He said 7. I said 6:30-ish.
30-ish.
Ish.
I guess you should have said 6:45-ish.
Well,
You'll probably see him in
nights
here.
usually start 6:30, 6:35.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of technical difficulties with the damn lamp.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, we didn't go to any shows this weekend, so not a lot of indie wrestling report. I've got some news and notes. Marcus, did you have anything? Didn't know if you had any results or if you heard anything from anybody.
No, I don't have any results. I know what we got coming up, but
Yep.
we can cover that here in a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was going to start on that a little bit, and then if you have any other ones, I was going to start some wrestling news. This Saturday, we're all going to be at DCCW at Juneteenth at 5 p.m.
Wait a minute. You say all of us? Marcus is going to be there?
Marcus is going to be there.
I will be there. If Kelly can stay well, I will be there.
That's this Saturday, June 15th at McCullough Park, Muncie, Indiana. The event starts at 2 p.m. The wrestling show starts at 5 p.m.
So is Kelly feeling better?
Oh yeah. She still had a cough Friday. We were thinking about going to the Dub Friday, but if she got a little hot or exerted a little bit, then she started coughing. So we decided let's just take another weekend off, and then we'll have at it next week. So
Glad she's feeling better.
Yeah,
she's feeling better.
definitely. Like I said, again, the event starts at 2 p.m. The wrestling show starts at 5. There'll be free food, hamburgers, hot dogs, snacks, stuff like that. While supplies last. So the event starts at 2. So if you want to get that food, you probably want to get there early. A lot of different things. There's entertainment. It's a great event, and it's going to be a great wrestling show. We've actually, I think, been every year. I think we didn't broadcast every year, but I think we've been there every year they've been there. So always a great show. So definitely want to try that. Definitely, if you can, try to check that out. Marks, did you know of any other events this weekend?
Yes,
I know there's one in Martinsville.
Yeah. Well, WCW is running their garage sale this weekend as well. Down there at the Dub, WCW is going to have a multi-family yard sale Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. there at the Dub. So probably get to buy some of Wiley's used merch. I don't know what they'll have, but they'll have other good stuff there too, I'm sure. So don't not go because you think Wiley's got a table set up, but we love you, Wiley. Yeah, it shows, right? 2 shows on Father's Day that I know of. JICW is running in Martinsville. Fathers get in free to that show. Let's see. I think it starts at 7. No, actually, it starts at 5:30 because it's a Sunday show. Doors at 5, bell time 5:30. And our good buddy Cecil Cerveza is running his show over at the Saloon 210 in Oakwood, Illinois. Their doors open at 5:30 Central Time, bell time 6:30 Central Time, and this time they're going to run a tournament to determine their brand new double barrel tag team champions. So, a couple Father's Day shows going on. And then Juneteenth on Saturday, and I'm not sure if I know any others. So
Okay.
that's what I have for the weekend.
Yes, there'll be some good shows this weekend. Everybody happy Father's Day ahead of time. Some other news: Big Rachel Armstrong is going to be making her game-changing wrestling debut. It's on a Thursday night, July 18th. At the name of the event is Believe in Me, and it's in Louisville, Kentucky.
Ooh, wow.
So that'll be cool. Congratulations to her.
Mm-hmm.
Some other news and notes. Don't know if it's 100% official yet. It does seem that way that Ricochet is leaving the WWE. His contract is up. Looks like they could write him off TV as early as tonight. There's been some rumors of that. We'll see how that goes. Also, another one about whose son done in New Japan. Probably gonna butcher his name, but Iliko, I believe is his name. He's like 6'7", 6'8", over 300 pounds, and looks like he's going to be making his way to WWE also, be part of the bloodline. Another item I had. Also, get ready to talk about NXT Battleground recap from last night. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about the facility. They said the place can hold up to 1,000 people. I heard they seated 700. I've since heard that a lot of complaints from some of the wrestlers that the area was very tight, that they wrestled in, in between the ring and the barriers and stuff. It was a very tight place. I thought the place looked great. I thought the sound of the place wasn't great, in my opinion. I didn't care for the sound of the place. I thought the crowd was pretty good. Get ready to go into the event, but that was just my thoughts on. I thought they had some production issues. I think they had some challenges. First time being in that building, that place. I don't know if it's made as for wrestling. It's made for UFC, so it's a different type venue. We'll see if they do some more shows there or not. Marcus, did you get to catch any of that show?
No, I didn't watch any of that. I did catch up on all
I didn't
the
know
rest.
if you got to or not.
You give me a lot of homework. I did catch up on NWA the last 2 weeks and the WCW Death of WCW, and I watched all your Purple Haze, Kevin Sullivan stuff I could find.
Yeah.
And
We'll discuss that here in a little bit. Okay, I'll go over the results for NXT Battleground real quick and my thoughts. The show opened, I probably don't have it in order, but I'm going to try to. Show opened with the North American Women's NXT Championship match. It was a ladder match. Really enjoyed the match. The winner of the match was Kalana Jordan. Had a lot of the newcomers that haven't been in the business for a long time other than Mi Chen, who's been in the business for quite a while. Thought the match was fantastic. I thought the women did a great job. Possibly my favorite match on the show. There was another. I thought they had 3 women's matches on the show, and I thought the women did a great job. I thought the women was outstanding. So definitely kudos out to NXT's women's division. Next match up, I believe, if I remember correctly, was the NXT Tag Team Championship match, and that featured Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson going for the championships against the champions Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Thought it was a great match. Nathan Frazier and Axiom retained their titles. Very good match. Nathan Frazier, who's trained by Seth Rollins, if you see him compete, you can definitely tell he was trained by Seth Rollins. Definitely his style is that way, but he's also a high flyer, can do a lot of things. I think he could be a big star in WWE.
Alex put up the results from the beauty pageant show over the weekend.
Okay. Justin Danger was there.
Christian Cash defeated IK3. Big
Man,
win for Christian Cash.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Shauna Reed defeated Lila Feast. And Storm goes home, and Shay defeated Alex in a no disqualification match. So Alex got his ass beat again.
Again?
By
Yeah.
that beauty queen, beauty
Yeah,
princess.
good.
I'm not sure you call her a queen, do you? Because she's not 20 yet. Beauty
No.
princess, but look at him. Everybody's kissing Cold X's butt all of a sudden.
Oh, God. Here we go. Next up, we had I believe it was the underground match with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice. I thought that was very well done. Seen some people didn't like the fact that it was basically won by tap out or knockout.
Hey, how's it going, Billy?
Or technical knockout, and that's how they ended it. Lola Vice did a spinning fist and caught Shayna Baszler, and the referee stopped it. That's what you would see in the UFC. So I think that's the route they went. I thought it was pretty well done. I enjoyed the match. Next up, we had Obi Femi defending his NXT North American Championship against Wesley Joe Coffey. Thought it was a real good match. I thought they really highlighted Obi Femi a lot. There's Kelly. The power of Obi Femi is just outstanding. I think he's going to be a huge star for WWE. Still a little green, but they're putting him in the right spots to make him look good. So just needs some more seasoning, but doing a great job. Next up, we had Roxanne Perez defending her NXT Women's Championships against Jordan Grace. Thought the match was outstanding. I thought Roxanne Perez stepped up to another level against Jordan Grace, which I think she had to. She retained her title. She pinned Jordan Grace. But we'll see. There was a little bit of, wouldn't say foul play, but a couple of people got involved and kind of distracted. Jordan didn't exactly interfere, but Jordan Grace's attention got moved to the side for a second, and then when she stepped back up, she hit her. Well, it looked like she hit her finishing move, but it was a great counter by Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne Perez hit her finishing move and won the match. Now that is interesting. This Friday, Jordan Grace has an open challenge against all odds pay-per-view this Friday. Maybe Roxanne shows up and challenges her for a TNA championship. So that could be interesting. We'll see what's going on there. And then in the main event, Trick Williams took on the all ego Ethan Page. A pretty good match. Trick Williams defended his title and held on to it. So pretty solid match here. I thought the best two matches was Roxanne Perez and Jordan Grace, and the ladder match with the women. So I thought pretty good show. I'd give it probably about B+. I enjoyed it. Next up, we've got the Clash at the Castle preview and predictions. We'll go through this and get everybody's opinion. The first match I'm going to go with is a three-way tag team match for the women's championships. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will defend their championships against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks. Chris, what do you think about that? Who do you think is going to come out of that match?
Who did you say?
Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
We're reading comments. We're not listening.
Oh, yeah, I was reading comments.
Defending their championship against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks.
I'm going to say Baszler and Starks.
Do you think they're going to beat Belair and Cargill for the championships?
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see it, but they just got the belt.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Cargill and
Belair and Cargill are going to win. But yeah, I'd like to see Belair.
I would too.
I'm going to go with Belair and Cargill.
But you're right. I don't see Belair and Cargill losing the belt. It's not that quick.
Next up, Sami Zayn defends his title against Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. What do you guys think? I'm going to predict Chad Gable's going to win this title.
I think it's time. It's Gable's time.
I hope
agree.
Gable wins.
And his contract's supposed to be up, but the rumor is it does look like he re-signed with the company. So I think we all agree with Gable. Next up, Bailey defends her championship against Piper Niven. Piper Niven will be in her home of Scotland. That's her home country for the WWE Women's Championship. A lot of people don't know a lot about Piper Niven. I know a lot about her because I watched her on NXT UK. She is outstanding talent. I wish WWE used her a little bit better. I don't think there's any way that Bailey loses the title at this time, so I'm gonna go with Bailey.
But it's the other lady's home turf.
Yep.
Where's Raw going to be at?
Raw tonight's somewhere
No,
else.
the Raw after the Clash of the Castle. Is it back on U.S. soil?
Yes.
She might lose. Bailey may lose it, but then get it back on Raw. I don't know. I've seen them do that before.
Well, it'd have to be SmackDown because it's a SmackDown match.
All right. Well,
Now
then SmackDown.
Yeah,
Okay.
the night before they're in Scotland for SmackDown the night before, but Saturday Scotland. And matter of fact, the pay-per-view will be at American time at 2 p.m.
I think Bailey.
this Saturday. I think Bailey.
I'm
So
gonna
you're going to get to
upset.
watch a lot of the pay-per-view before we have to go.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an upset, but I think she'll
Okay,
win it
next
back.
up, we got Cody Rhodes. Okay. Next up, Cody Rhodes defends his undisputed heavyweight championship against AJ Styles in an I Quit match.
Cody will win that.
I think so too. I think it's too early for him to lose.
Yeah, I think Cody wins.
And
Unless
AJ's not the next best thing. AJ, I don't want to call him a has-been because he's far from it, but
yeah,
it's Cody's time. Cody ain't going to lose that, not the AJ.
I wouldn't think so. And the last match I have is Damian Priest defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre in Scotland. I think Drew is from close to that area if he's not exactly from Scotland.
Wow, how did Chris become a Cold X member? When that happen? Between you
What
and
the
Kelly.
hell, Chris? You joined Cold X?
Well, between him
You
and
drinking the
Kelly.
Kool-Aid, man?
You, Tony. They've even split us in half.
Well, shit, man. We ain't got a chance,
Tony, they split
Marcus.
us in half.
They already took over Misery. They took over Alex.
They took that
Well, Alex
Johnny
kind of dope
Blaze.
anyway. So, I mean,
Oh, I don't know if Johnny Blaze did.
Alex don't surprise me. I mean, Alex, all they have to do is take a watch or something and go in front of his face a couple times.
That's
And
it.
then join
Well,
the group.
look, all Cold X don't like me. Justin Dangerous still don't like me.
Oh, okay.
He don't like any of us.
He don't like anybody. That's true. I mean, that,
I'm going with a lot of people want to see Drew McIntyre get this victory. I say CM Punk screws Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest holds on to the championship.
yeah, I don't see Damian losing it right now either. That sounds like that sounds good. I'll go with that. I mean, that makes sense.
I'm gonna say McIntyre.
Is Higby trying to get in the Cult X too? Because I'm sorry, Higby. Me and Marcus got our own cult, and we don't want you either.
I do have to laugh at Justin Danger. I did see videos of clips that Alex put out there in the Queen contest, all doing the Ravi over here, the Ravi thing. So either they liked you or they liked Ravi. I don't know.
If Drew wins and he faced Punk at SummerSlam, if Drew's got the championship, he has to face Gunther. Because Gunther's got that automatic championship match at SummerSlam. So that don't work. That's why I say I think we're going to have Drew against Punk at SummerSlam. I agree with that, but I don't think it's going to be for a belt. I think it's going to be Gunther against Priest, and we may see Gunther win it against Priest. I think they'd like to have that belt on Gunther. But we'll see. What do you think about that, Chris? Damian and McIntyre.
Well, I set up McIntyre, but I didn't realize that because I was thinking the same as Warren, but I didn't realize that Gunther had that clause. So
yep.
that makes me think Priest now, but I'd like to see McIntyre win.
Well, I like Ravi just fine. I just don't really care for Called X much. and I like Justin Danger. I just don't understand why he's with Called X.
Do you think they could, like Warren said, do you think they could do a triple threat?
That's possible.
Yeah, that's
That would be
possible.
possible. Real quick, I wanted to go back for Ricochet. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Ricochet's making a smart move by leaving the WWE
Where's
and
he
possibly going? Well, I don't know if he'll go to AEW. I think that's a good possibility. He could go AEW. Possibility he could go TNA. It's possibility he could go New Japan. He could make a killing on independence. He could make a lot of money on the independence too. Big he could make, or he could sign a contract with AEW or TNA where he can do independence. So honestly, I think I like him in WWE, but I don't think they'll pay him as much as AEW. I think he can make more money than AEW, and I think it'd probably be a smart move for him to go on, to move on.
I mean, you're right. He might be able to make some more money, but I mean, all that just depends on what he's wanting to do, and maybe he thinks he can go over there and get the push that he's not getting with WWE. The only bad thing is AEW don't seem to know what to do with the guys when they get them.
I wouldn't trust the push there either, but I think that he's not great on the microphone. I don't know if I think his style is built more for AEW. He would work less dates, so I mean, I think you go where the money's at. He's been with WWE since I think 2018. He's been there 7 years now, about 6-7 years, so if not longer. So I think he might be smart. Next thing I kind of wanted to go over was some current storylines that's going on, and see what you guys think of them. The first one, which I think is the top story that they have, maybe in all of wrestling, definitely in WWE, I think it's Dom Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and the Judgment Day. I think what they're doing with all them kind of intertwined, I think by far is the best story in WWE right now, and I think probably in all wrestling. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Dom's doing a great job. I think Liv is
I
doing
agree.
a great job.
I haven't seen a lot over the last couple of weeks, but from what I have seen, the clips I've watched and stuff, I haven't watched like whole shows, but I've seen some clips. Yeah, that seems like to be the number one thing that you're seeing a lot of people talk about is Dom. But if you think about it, even when the bloodline was the main story and all that going on, Judgment Day was still Dom was still one of the top heels and had some of the most attention on anybody.
Yeah, doing very. I mean, Judgment Day's been a big staple on Raw with Dom and Rhea, and for the last 12 months, if not longer. So, and I think they're even bumping that up to another level. So, definitely, the next story, I think the second biggest story in WWE is Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, and Alpha Academy and Otis. The crowd is really getting behind Otis. I think they're doing big things with that. That's why I think Gable's going to stay there. I think we're going to see Gable leave the Alpha Academy or build a new Alpha Academy with the brothers, Creed brothers. That's what I think is going to happen in the future. Sammy don't need the title. I think it would be good for Gable.
I agree.
So we'll see where that goes. The next one is the Bloodline, the new Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Tonga, and Tonga Loa. I think I really like what they're doing. I love what Paul Heyman's doing, acting like he's scared to death of him. I think it's going to be interesting when Roman comes back to see how they're going to play that. And the Rock's going to get involved at some point. So I definitely love the storyline that they got going there. And then the next one was I like the way they did the Cody and AJ Styles this past Friday. Kind of reminds me of Dusty Rhodes 101 kind of story. Everybody and their brother turned on Dusty. So, AJ did, turned on Cody. And I like the I Quit match. So I think that's interesting. And then the other story that I think is going pretty well, AEW, the Elite taking over the AEW. I like that storyline with the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada. The only thing I think they got to find some way to take it to another level. I don't know what that is, but I think they've got to up their game and do something big with it. So we'll see how it goes from there. And Marcus, you said you did watch about the death of WCW.
Yeah, I did.
What did you think of that?
Well, I think they left it on the cliffhanger that Hogan's probably to blame. That's where I think they left it.
I agree. That's where they left the first episode.
Yeah. The whole thing where they plugged Sting for 18 months and then the whole thing just kind of crumbled under with the Crow, Sting turning Crow, and then when he got there, the whole story kind of just fell apart.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff, that, and then later on when you go back, when they get to it, when they go to the Jeff Jarrett thing, where he didn't want to lose the Jarrett, again, that creative control caused a lot of problems for them.
It did, yes, and that's why they think Hogan was part of the death of WCW, is because Hogan, for lack of a better term, played a Shawn Michaels and said, well, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And yeah, it turned storylines into shit, basically. And
well, didn't he have it in his contract if they brought in somebody that he had to be making at least that much more or whatever?
He had that, and so did Hall Nash. Anybody come in after them, they could, if they made so much, they had to make so much. More people come in, the more money they made. So that don't help things either.
So it's going to be interesting. Is that how many parts is that? Is that a 4-part series or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 4-part series.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this because they covered a lot in that first one.
Yep, and they had some different views. I know there's some people. See, Hogan didn't want to be a part of it. Hogan didn't want nothing to do with it. He was asked, but he didn't want to be. Flair was not asked, and he's very upset that he wasn't asked.
And you're right, Brad is bitter. From what little I've seen, Brad is bitter.
I mean, really, it's Flair was in WC. I mean, it was a big part of WCW for a while. You would think that he would have been asked about that.
He was.
I mean, he really wasn't there toward the end, I guess.
Well, he was there. He was there even there at times. But I think that he wasn't. How do I say this without being disrespectful? He wasn't up at that level. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be at that level, but Bischoff and them kept him down. I don't think he had any real pull or any say in anything. So I don't know if he really was aware of what was going on. And I think that's the best way to put it. So,
well, and you got to give him Bischoff too, because he was fighting literally an entire company that did not want wrestling at all.
Yes.
I mean, if anybody needs to watch that, it's on Vice. Tony Scissors. I actually watched it on Vice, but there is a good YouTube. It's on YouTube, and it's a good production. You start following that. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this.
Yep,
we'll have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, the first episode was very good.
Yeah, and they cover a lot of ground. And they did make another statement. I do have another statement about that. I wrote it down. Bischoff started AWA. He said that. And he said Vern Gagne was running 5 shows a week, Monday through Friday, 5 shows a week, plus he did his Saturdays. Where is that library at? Where is the AWA library? Why is there so little on the box?
Well, and he's got to have. They got to have
5 shows a week.
Well, I don't think all of them. They may not have recorded all of them, but I know they had. I know they had a show that ran syndication that ran on Channel 4. I mean, ran all over the country, but on Channel 4, I remember that. And they also ran on ESPN,
right,
for a while. So I mean, there's got to be. They don't have very many shows on the WWE network.
86 and 87.
There's a lot they're not showing.
Yeah, definitely. Where is that library? Because there is a lot of good stuff in there. So
I don't know if this has got anything to do with that, Marcus, but I heard that WWE put a trademark out for something called the Vault.
All right, you guys froze up.
Being heard or not? Did you hear that, Marcus?
You said something about the Vault, and then you froze up. Go ahead and say it again.
WWE is coming out with something new called the Vault. I guess they trademark. So I don't know if that's going to be a new show that they're going to show some old stuff or what they're doing.
I hope so, because I remember there's a lot of the WWE guys from the '80s came from the AWA. So,
and I know you also said you watched the cut up on the NWA.
Yeah, I watched the last 2 weeks of the NWA.
What'd you think about that?
Well, I don't know why you think. For one, I'm going to go with that damn cooking with Carson. That's got to be the dumbest shit I think I've ever seen.
I love Carson
Drake. I don't even know why they're doing that.
I don't know either. I love Carson Drake.
Cooking with Carson?
It's so damn.
I love Carson Drake. I think he could talent in professional wrestling. I didn't think the second episode was as bad as the first. I thought the first was a freaking train wreck.
The slide balls were chewing on raw.
That first one was horrible.
It's like, well, I didn't think the second one was any better, to be honest with you.
Marcus froze up.
Well, you froze up too, so I guess we're all froze up. There, am I good now? Okay, yeah, you guys froze up.
Hopefully,
I do like the Crockett Cups looking pretty good.
Yep.
So I missed a week because they already had
some of the Crockett pretty good.
But it was good to see Dory Funk Jr. He made an appearance this past week.
Show 2 weeks ago, I wasn't real crazy.
Yep, they froze up again. That means I probably did too. There.
We're having all kinds of issues again.
Yeah. I thought the wrestling's pretty good for the most part.
See, that helps.
Yeah, like I said, I thought this last week's show was better than the show. The show a couple weeks ago, I wasn't real fan of. It was okay at best, but I thought last week's show was pretty good.
Yeah, I do too.
Except for the cooking.
I really thought the Savages of Samoa was going to do it. They had that match all but the very end of it.
I did too.
I really thought they were going on, but the Country Gentleman got them there at the very end. So, and like I said, Dory Funk Jr. made an appearance.
Yes,
at the end. He actually looked pretty decent for being 80 something. So
80 some years old, pretty shaky, but yeah, it was good to see him.
Yeah,
and supporting the NWA. I thought that was pretty cool. The next thing I wanted to talk about was something me and Marcus talked about, and I was a huge fan of it, but it was weird because from 1982 to 1985, I didn't have access to see this stuff on TV because it was in Florida, and this is Kevin Sullivan and his Army of Darkness with the purple haze and all this stuff. I seen it in the wrestling magazines, and I was pretty fascinated with it. But this past week I got on YouTube, and it's hard because some of the copies ain't the best. But the Army of Darkness had Kevin Sullivan as the Prince of Darkness with Fallen Angel, who later on became a woman, and Mark Lewin, who was a pretty famous wrestler in the 60s and 70s. He became the Purple Haze. Another guy they had was a guy who wasn't ever really famous, but his name was Mike Davis. He became the Dream, and he had a pretty good, actually bad impersonation of the American Dream. He was in the group. Bob Roop was pretty famous wrestlers. Actually was an Olympic wrestler, I believe, maybe in the 50s. But he pretty big in the 60s and 70s. He became Mahasai, I believe if I'm pronouncing that right.
I thought they called him Mahal Singh. I thought that's how they said it.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's Mahal Singh.
They said it, yeah.
Okay, and then Billy Graham, Superstar Billy Graham, but he didn't go by Superstar Billy Graham at that time. This was when he had the bald head, and
that's when he did the martial arts.
Yep, gimmick.
Because he didn't even look like the Billy Graham of the WWF champion.
No, nothing like that at all.
No, it wasn't even sure that was him. If you remember right, they thought the original Billy Graham had died, and that guy came in and took his name. If you remember how all that went, they wasn't even sure that was him. So,
Yeah, definitely different looking guy. They basically took over the territory in Florida and the surrounding areas, feuded with Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack Mulligan, Barry and Kendall Windham, which were the sons of Blackjack Mulligan, and other people. Graham, was it Eddie Graham's son, I believe, Mike Graham,
Mike Graham, yeah. Mike Graham.
feuded with him also. Some of the stuff that went on some of the shows. At one point, I don't know if you've seen the video where he punched Fallen Angel,
Yes, I did.
and he looked like he knocked the holy crap out of him.
Yeah, I did.
And,
That's when Kendall come to get her back, right?
Yeah, Kendall, and then Graham
called her. What do you call her? I have it here somewhere. Cindy. He called her Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou. Yep.
Yeah.
And then that's when Graham got involved to try to stop him from hitting her again. Told him once was enough, and they basically took him and hung him up in the ropes and did the hanging thing. And that was probably about 1983, 84, because this was going on from 82 to 85. Another point, you've seen they used a metal spike and stabbed Blackjack Mulligan with it.
That was in a box, right?
Yep.
Got it
I did some reading. I guess there was another point where they actually stabbed Dusty Rhodes also with the spike. I didn't see that on video, but I read about that. But it was some of the interviews were crazy, talking a lot of crazy stuff with Sullivan. I think a lot of the stuff I would say that Bray Wyatt probably took some stuff from this. Not saying that he did exact copy because he didn't, but I think he took some of that into his character. Let's say that. But it was really crazy off the wall stuff. I wish there was. Whenever they wrestled, there was a lot of blood.
Yeah,
a lot of blood. It seemed like every match I watched, somebody was bleeding. So might want to check that out, people, if you're interested in that. I just I thought it was interesting. I just wish there was better copies because some of the copies are pretty rough. Again, you're talking videotape copies. But Marcus, what do you think about that stuff?
Well, you called me up and we talked. Like I said, I remember seeing it in the rest of the magazines, but I had not ever seen any of that stuff.
I hadn't either.
Me watching it after you said that was the first time, and I do not know how they got by with half that stuff. I mean, it had to be because it was on cable, and I don't know how late at night, but that's some wicked stuff. That when they're on the beach, remember when they're on the beach? That whole thing was just nuts.
It was very bizarre. I never seen nothing like it.
Him wear that weird face mask, and
you're right. Ric Flair's going off on Twitter.
I told you.
When I thought it was funny how the Midnight Rider attacked Dusty because Dusty was the Midnight Rider, but the Midnight Rider come in and attacked Dusty.
Yep.
They got the spike, was going to stab Dusty, and Mulligan pushed him out of the way and ended up taking it in the chest or in the stomach or somewhere.
Yeah, chest. It was nuts.
Yeah, and you're right. Lots of blood. It didn't seem like, and like you said, after a while, it wasn't hard to bleed because their skin was so used to being scraped.
Yeah, because they was bleeding, there was no time for bleeding.
I think they never had time to heal. So basically, they were open wounds anyway.
Yep.
All they had to do is bust them open again. So,
Yep.
But yeah, that was some wicked stuff.
It was very crazy. Very crazy.
Justin Danger, I'm curious if you've ever seen any of that. I'd like to know your input if you had seen any of that Purple Haze, Kevin Sullivan stuff. It's wicked.
And before we get to the stuff that I asked you guys to do homework-wise, I did have a question because it came up on Facebook. Overall, was Vince McMahon good or bad for pro wrestling? And I did a lot of reading of people's responses. And what do you think overall? Everything that's happened from whenever he bought his dad's company till now, overall, do you think he was good or bad for pro wrestling, and why? What do you think, Mark?
No, I think he was good. I mean, we wouldn't be where we're at today if he didn't make that move.
I think a lot of people, either they don't know, because I was around doing the territory system. I got to see all that, right? And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. But it was very crooked, people running it. Not to say that Vince McMahon is Mr. Perfect, but I think the wrestlers end up getting paid a lot more money overall. I do think it's bad, especially after AWA and then especially after WCW died. It was bad for wrestlers as far as some of them made good money, but there wasn't a whole lot of places to go. I agree with that. But I think overall, what he did for the industry, some people said they think wrestling might have died. Might have died out if Vince didn't do that.
Oh, I don't know if it would have died, but it sure would be a whole different world today.
I don't know if it ever would have got as big as it got because
No.
his vision took it to this. I don't think Vern Gagne would have ever had that vision.
Vern Gagne wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
They were too tight with Vince Sr. So
yeah.
a lot of people were so dedicated to Vince Sr. that they would never have done that. So it took somebody to buy the company and do what he did to do what obviously took place. But everybody's afraid of Vince Sr. I mean, so I don't think they was going to cross him anyway.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think? Do you think overall Vince was?
Oh, I think it's good. I mean, you can't say wrestling would be as big as it is today if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. So,
I mean, I know he's done a lot of negative things, especially in the past, the recent past. But yeah, I don't think we'd be where. I mean, if WrestleMania, well, if Rock and Wrestling don't happen, and then WrestleMania don't happen, where are we right now?
Well, let me ask you this, because Starrcade was a big thing. That was pre-WrestleMania. Do you think Dusty and them could have taken that to the level that Vince did WrestleMania?
The only thing that worries me about that was that the Crockett's didn't know how to handle money.
Yeah,
they spent themselves. I mean, they were making all kinds of money, but they went out and got planes. They were all living the high life, and they blew it all. So again, they may have went under whether Vince was there or not. I don't know for sure, of course. I mean, I can't say that for sure.
Point. Yeah, we've just found that out here recently about the Crockett's being. They didn't know how to smartly spend their money. They got it and they spent it.
As far as being able to promote, and Dusty same way. Dusty didn't save no money. He spent everything too. Now Dusty was a great promoter. I think when you start talking about people's minds, I mean, you got Vince up here, and I think you got Dusty up here, and I think there's a few others that had great minds. Even though a lot of people don't like him and hate him, Ole Anderson had a great mind for the wrestling business, especially for that during that time.
Well, even Vern Gagne's son, Greg Gagne.
Great.
Never listened to him talk.
Yep.
He's a genius. He wasn't worth a damn at wrestling.
Yep.
But he is a genius when it comes to how things work. And
well, see, I wonder if Vern would have listened to Greg a little bit more, maybe they could have, because they say they was getting ready to push Hogan big, and they would have been the ones that would have got big. I don't know. I can't say. It's easy to say that now.
I mean, I don't think they could have done what Vince did with Hogan.
I don't think so either.
I mean, he would have been big, but I don't think they would have been the big that Vince took him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, well, asked us to come up with some of our favorite storylines. Marcus, you want to go first?
Okay. I put all kinds of stuff on here, and some of these storylines I already remember part of them. Because again, when we had limited cable, and the grandmother with the cable lived in Lafayette, and we always seen her once a month, so you only got parts of it. But do you remember Magnum TA being trained by Mr. Wrestling 2?
Yes.
And the grain sacks, kicking the grain sacks to learn how to do that knee that he done, and but see, I don't remember a lot of that because I always seen parts of it.
Yep.
But that came to mind. Okay, the ones I had, of course, the DX storyline. I mean, you gotta love that. I also put on here the setup for Mr. McMahon being the guy who they thought for weeks and months was going to be Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
And it ended up being Vince McMahon, and he took that storyline and ran with it very well, I thought. Of course, then I had Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts and Mrs. Roberts. Jimmy Garvin and David Von Erich and the working for him on the ranch.
Yep.
You had Precious and Sunshine. That's another version of Jimmy Garvin that had the valets fighting each other, and Hogan and Andre. Macho Man and the introduction of Miss Elizabeth for weeks and weeks and weeks, even on TNT, they were trying to get Macho Man, and everybody's trying to get Macho Man, and then he found out that, well, none of you are going to be it. She's going to be my manager, and everybody's like, well, who the hell is that? And
Yeah,
look
all
where
of them
that,
were in the ring. All the managers in the ring, and then he makes the announcement, and here comes Miss Elizabeth. Yeah.
and that took place in a high school gym.
Okay.
That when Miss Elizabeth, if you watch, she comes out like one of the side doors of a high school gym. So that wasn't, they hadn't even made it big yet, as in going into arenas. They were still doing gyms. So then I had Hogan and Orndorff. Remember, Hogan and Orndorff were fighting each other at WrestleMania 1. Then Hogan and Orndorff were friends, and then they turned around and Orndorff turned on him again a year later.
Yep.
And Orndorff was coming out to his music, and so that's the ones that came off the top of my head.
Yeah. I went with two that really have grabbed me over the years. And there was others. I could have went others, but again, to me, Dusty Rhodes against everybody, because Dusty really helped a lot of people's careers and helped make stars. First of all, the Horseman, his feud with the Horseman, including Flair. He had a big feud with Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Ole, Barry Windham, a huge feud with Barry Windham when Barry Windham started to go to the next level. The Russians, Nikita Koloff and Ivan Koloff and Crusher Darso. The feud, he was Barry Darso, but he went Crusher Khrushchev. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then the story with Magnum TA, when Magnum TA got injured and they made the call to turn Nikita good and form the Superpowers with Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff. I actually thought that could have been bigger than what it was, but at that time it was pretty big. He just, like I said, he helped elevate a lot of talent. Elevated himself too. Don't get me wrong. Dusty was about Dusty in a lot of ways too, but I think he really helped a lot of talent. So that, I think, Dusty against everybody, and everybody and their brother turned on Dusty, it seemed like. The next one is believe it or not, the Bloodline. I think the Bloodline had fantastic storytelling. I know Marcus has had problems with, of course, Roman winning so much, and how he won. But I think classic, old school, at times even chicken shit heel. But what they did to elevate the Usos from just not being tag team wrestlers, being maybe one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and then elevating them, especially Jay. The callback with the story at WrestleMania with Roman and Seth Rollins, and going, saying he was going to be the Shield, and basically Seth cost Roman the championship because instead of attacking Cody, he attacked Seth. The way they called back that story, he was even wearing the Shield outfit at the time. Seth was, I think, just great storytelling. Adding Sammy to the mix with the Bloodline, thought was great. And then, of course, Sammy and Kevin Owens coming back together and winning the tag team championships after he left the Bloodline. The story with Cody, I think, definitely elevated Cody. I think Cody not winning the championship the first time they wrestled was the right call. And now we've got a whole new Bloodline story getting ready to develop. It's just been fantastic storytelling, I think. One of the best of all time. I don't know if it's the greatest of all time, but I think that they've done a really great job with the Bloodline. Them are the main two that I had. Chris, did you have any?
Yeah, Bloodline is. I agree with you. Is one. A few I wrote down. One was Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mr. McMahon when that first started. Because I mean that basically saved WWE.
Mm-hmm.
With that storyline, the way it took off, that's always been one of my favorites. And then another one was with Kane and Daniel Bryan, the tag team Hell No, and they were doing like the anger management classes and doing all that stuff. That's always been what
I know that's one of your
love
favorites.
that.
Yep.
I've always loved that. And then something that from when I was younger, it'd be when Shawn Michaels turned on Jannetty.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a huge Rockers fan, and also was Beefcake fans. So doing it on the barber shop and just the way everything happened. I remember back as a kid, I thought it was crazy because like I said, we was a big Rockers fans. Me and my brother did boom like that. It was over.
Are we getting any comments or just
No,
haven't been getting any? I didn't know if something happened or
yeah. Well, I don't know. Ain't nothing showing up on here no more anyway.
No, I hadn't got anything since 7:05, 7:04.
I didn't know if something happened or what. Because usually we have some. I didn't know if I messed up when we.
Well, you were talking shit to Cold X. Maybe they all left.
That may be.
I mean,
Codex ain't going to back out of that.
No,
no, not Cold X. I'm talking about everybody else because everybody else was Cold X fans all of a sudden.
I just attacked Higby a little bit, and Alex, but hell, Alex wouldn't even know if I said anything bad. So, well, I had a quick bracket I thought we'd do real quick. It's the most shocking betrayals in pro wrestling history. Start off with number 1 against number 16. Now this is not. I didn't put the rankings on this, so there's going to be some that I think is a little weird. But their number one was Triple H turning on Shawn Michaels. That's their number 1 most shocking betrayal. Against number 16, Triple H turning on Ric Flair.
Pretty evenly matched. And that's number 1.
That's where they're number 1.
Shawn Michaels?
Yep, that's their number 1. This had to be a young guy that did this list.
It has. I'm gonna have to go. The other one.
What do you think?
Triple H and Flair. That's
Which was more shocking. Triple H on Shawn. Well, Triple H on Shawn was pretty shocking because it came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't expecting Triple H on Flair either.
See, and I don't recall either one of those because that must have been a time I really wasn't watching it.
I'm gonna say Triple H on Shawn.
That's probably true. The way you just put that. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with those.
Okay, next up is number 8 and 9. Chavo Guerrero turning on Eddie Guerrero, and Matt Hardy turning on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is the 8, and Chavo and Eddie is number 9.
I'm gonna go Matt and Jeff.
I think I'd go with Matt and Jeff also.
I agree.
Next up, number 5 and 12. Evolution turning on Randy Orton, or Triple H on Daniel Bryan.
I'm gonna go
number 5 is Evolution and Orton. Number 12 is Triple H and Daniel Bryan.
I'm going Orton.
I think that I agree with that too.
Yep, I agree.
Next up, number 13, Stone Cold's heel turn at WrestleMania 17, or number 4, Paul Bearer on The Undertaker.
Just a sec. Are you getting comments, Chris?
No.
Well, they're making them. Cold X is answering these brackets because I pulled it up on my phone to see if I could comment. And they're people are answering. You're just not seeing them.
Yeah, I'm not getting nothing. I don't know what happened.
Cold X said the Hardys. Cold X said Orton. Cold X said Austin and Vince. What was this bracket you just said?
The last one I said was Stone Cold's heel turn at WrestleMania 17 was number 13 on the list. And number 4 was Paul Bearer on The Undertaker.
And I'll go Austin and Vince.
See, Stone Cold was shocking. Paul Bearer was shocking too. What do you think, Chris?
I'm gonna say Paul Bearer.
What are they saying on there, Marcus? I'm going with
Cold X doing Austin versus Vince. That's the only comment.
I'm going to go with the Stone Cold too. So we'll go with Stone Cold heel turn. Next up, I got number 3, Vince on Bret Hart, or number 14, Heyman on Punk. I think Vince on Bret has to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Number 6. I don't know how this is number 6. I think it should be higher, but it's against a tough one. Number 6, Andre turning on Hogan, or the Freebirds turning on the Von Erichs. It's
that's good.
closer than what some people. I think you got to go with Andre and Hogan, but
Yeah.
I like the Freebirds and Von Erichs because it caused a riot.
Kodak's good hit, man. I'm just reading them as they come in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Andre and Hogan because that Andre and Hogan, that Warren Misery put on.
Yeah, Warren. Didn't I say Warren said Andre and Hogan?
I'm on Andre and Hogan. I live that.
Yeah, me too. But the Freebirds and Von Erichs was a good one too. But yeah, I think Andre and Hogan.
Yeah, I pulled it up on my phone as well.
Okay,
I don't know why
you
it's
got
not
two?
coming up.
Number
I
7.
don't know why it's not coming up on the screen like it normally does, though.
Kodak
This is a
said
good one.
Andre as well.
This is a real evenly matched one. Let's see what you guys go with. Number 7, Seth on the Shield. Seth Rollins on number 7. I think that's low. But I think this one's low. Number 10, Sean on Marty.
Well, I'm gonna go Sean and Marty. Was waiting on you to tell me that didn't even make the list. But I'm on Sean on Marty. Well, no.
Both of them caught me off guard completely.
I'm gonna go Seth. That took me off guard. Sean and Marty, you kind of could read that was coming because they were already feuding with each other. Seth wasn't feuding with.
I had no idea Seth was. No, I had no idea that Seth was going to turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seth. Codex put.
I think I will too.
Sean and Marty. Warren put HBK as well. So now
Chris, you're deciding. Chris, you decided.
I'm gonna go with Seth.
And I know you're a big.
Oh, I'm a big Michaels and I was a big Rockers fan, but I didn't see Seth turning on the shit when that happened. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Number
that came out of
2,
nowhere.
Hogan's heel turn. Number 2, Hogan's heel turn, and Big Snake turning on Ultimate Warrior. I think you got to go Hogan. No
Gonna
turn.
go Hogan. That Warrior Snake. That was.
Okay, next up we have number 1, Triple H turning on Shawn against number 8, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy.
Matt and Jeff.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to go Triple H and Shawn. What do you think, Chris?
I'm gonna go Matt and Jeff.
Okay. 2-1. Do you guys have any on your
Can you see him?
Warren
Chris?
says the
Hardys?
and Kodak says Hunter and Sean.
Sean.
Still looks like 3-2, Hardy and Jeff. Am I right?
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff. Upset. Number 8 over 1. Next, we have number 5, Evolution turning on Orton against number 13, Stone Cold's heel turn at WrestleMania 17.
Stone Cold.
I'm going with Evolution and Orton.
See, you kind of seen that coming too, though, because
Yeah.
Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, right?
That's true.
And then they tried to get him to choose the other champion, who was the
True.
other champion? Do you remember?
Yep. I know, I forget who it was, but I remember that.
Yeah. So you kind of seen that one coming, but Austin turning, you did not see that coming really.
That's true.
Warren put Stone Cold, Codex put
Kodak
Austin as
says
well.
Stone Cold.
That's going to be Stone Cold, looks like.
I agree. I think Stone Cold.
Next up, Vince turning on Brett or Andre turning on Hogan.
Andre and Hogan. I'm always going to live with that.
Vince and Brett was crazy. No doubt. Shocking. Because especially at the time, we didn't know what was going on. Of course, but one of my favorite stories of all time is Andre and Hogan. So I'm going with Andre and Hogan. I'm with you, Marcus. But let's see what other people go with.
They split it. Warren put Andre, Codex put Vince.
What do you think, Chris? I don't think it's going to be Andre and Hogan anyway. So next up, Seth and the Shield against Hogan's heel turn.
Ooh, now you got them matched up.
Yep.
I'm
I'll
going to
say
go Hogan
Hogan's heel turn.
because that created that. Oh, yeah. They weren't
Because
throwing trash at Seth, but boy, they were sure throwing trash and shit at Hogan.
I prefer Seth's heel turn, but I think Hogan's had more impact. And so I think both of them, I think Hogan had more impact. So I'm going to go with Hogan also.
Yeah, it's a runaway
Say
because
Hogan
Warren
also?
and Codex both did Hogan too.
I think. Okay, we're down to our final four. We got Matt and Jeff Hardy against Stone Cold's heel turn at WrestleMania 17.
I'm gonna say Stone Cold.
Yeah, I do too.
Matt and Jeff is pretty shocking. I think I go with Stone Cold also.
Yeah. So's the other two.
And on the other side, we have Andre and Hogan against Hogan's heel turn.
Oh Lord.
I'll go with Hogan's heel turn.
That's close because Andre's heel turn caused WrestleMania 3 and 93,000 people.
I'm on Andre.
So I mean, I'm going Andre and Hogan.
Yeah, I'm on Andre and Hogan too.
So 2-1. So what these people think?
I'm going Hogan's heel turn. Codex says Hogan.
Heel turn. So that's 2-2. You got anybody else?
Let's got Warren.
Anybody else? We got Warren.
Warren went Hogan turning at. He got the NWO creation. Hogan turning heel.
Oh, Hogan.
Yeah.
Hogan heel turn. Okay. So that's going to be Hogan.
Which Hogan is it? Hogan and Andre or
Hogan heel turn.
Okay.
Hogan heel turn. We lost Mark.
All right.
Okay, we got Hogan heel turn against Stone Cold heel turn. So according to their list, number 13, Stone Cold's heel turn at WrestleMania 17 against number 2, Hogan's heel turn, turning it into the NWO.
I'll say Hogan's heel turn. It was the most shocking out of all of them to me because I never expected Hogan to turn heel.
Yeah, he needed to, but yeah, I didn't expect it.
I never expected it. That's
because Austin had already been
that
heel. Yeah, I'm going to go with that too.
Hogan
as well.
on that, guys.
Yep, Codex says Hogan. Warren says Hogan.
Warren and Codex both say Hogan.
Well, guys, I think that's all we got. Again, everybody, this Saturday we will be at DCCW at McCullough Park. The wrestling show part of that starts at 5 o'clock. It's a free wrestling show, but the event is also free. It starts at 2. It's Juneteenth. They'll have free food while supplies last. They have entertainment, games for the kids. There's food vendors set up too where you can buy food, also other kind of vendors. A lot of information, booths and stuff. It's a really cool event. I think it runs from 2 to 9 or 2 to 10 at McCullough Park. Again, the wrestling show's at 5. ECCW puts on great shows. Definitely urge you to check that out. We'll be there taping the show. Won't be able to go live, I don't believe. But guys, I think that's it. Anything else we need to plug, Marcus? Of course, we got the
garage sale this weekend.
Father's Day.
You're going to be in the ring Saturday, right?
No, I'm not going to be in the ring Saturday. Don't even start that.
I thought we heard that.
He said I was going to be. He said I was going to be in the ring Saturday. That's not happening.
Oh, I thought I heard that too.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Marcus, don't be joining up with him. You going to join up with Call X too? He's a Call X guy.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to stick together, Marcus. Okay.
We ought to stir everybody up. It's
Kelly's turn.
Tony sat on one side of the building, and Chris and Tony sat, or Chris and Kelly sat on the other. We both broadcast on both sides of the building.
Well, they'll be sitting over there with Call X shirts, and we'll be setting up with Call X shirts with big X's through them. Well, no, that can't be an X.
Yeah,
Can't be an X.
put a
Can't be an
bigger,
X.
put a bigger X on there.
We'll just have to mark it out. Like marks or something.
Yeah,
We can't do an X.
scribbles.
That was stupid. We have to do some kind of marks or something. Scribbles, yeah.
You can put one the circle with the line through it.
Yeah. Do that, yeah.
If you don't quit.
He's on my side. He don't like called X either.
Excuse me.
Says, don't forget your Justin Danger, your champion of the U.S. Cold X. We'll have a live mic on the 22nd for the AACW Flashpoint. Little secret that they have. So they're going to have a secret.
That's a
And they want the world to hear it. And you can't censor them. So, and that's a week from Saturday. And you froze up again.
I think they probably got a lot of secrets, and they don't want them secrets to get out, so we won't go there.
So, yeah, once we get through this weekend, we got another one right after. And then the Bash Memorial will be here after that. We got a lot of shows coming up before the end of the month. So,
There's going to be a lot of good shows.
FEW's got a show coming
All right,
up.
we appreciate everybody watching.
Yep, more pro. Got
Warrior
a bunch
Pro.
of good shows.
Mhm.
What's FEW? That's the 29th or
Yeah,
30th.
29th.
Yeah, we got a show the 29th, I believe.
That's a Saturday. Because I'll be at Bashers that night.
Yep. Yep.
And Will's got his show, or
He'll be
Cecil
quite a
show this
concert
weekend.
Yeah, I think.
And Cecil's got a show on the 29th or the end of the month as well. So he's actually got 2 more shows this month. And GW's got a show coming up. Yeah, there's a
Cecil
lot
be
of-
on fire. You
What's
doing
that?
Cecil do 3 shows this month?
Well, he hadn't planned on doing
Cecil
3
ended up
shows.
doing 3 shows this month?
Well, because he kept pushing the first one because of the rain, and ended up being June 1st.
Cecil
He hadn't
be crazy.
planned on that.
Cecil be crazy.
Well, that's
Here
not
before
good.
long, Cecil will be running.
Just tell him run every Sunday.
I bet he could do that.
He probably
That
would.
part of Illinois is a hotbed for
He probably
wrestling.
would.
I bet he could pull that off. Be honest with you.
His girlfriend
Warren
probably
will
killed
back me up on that. Warren will back me up. He's been there. I bet he could pull that off if he wanted to do that.
Warren will help him. Warren will be his co-promoter.
You just
I
volunteered.
volunteered Warren.
And Warren says he's for it too. I'm telling you, I really
Everybody
think
have a
Cecil
good night.
people Sunday shows he could pull that off. And today's Cecil Cervase's birthday,
Have a
by the
good
way. Happy
night.
birthday,
Have a
Cecil.
good weekend again. Yep. Happy birthday, Cecil.
It's also your brother's birthday. Today.
Yep. I called him. Yeah, I got one of my older brothers' birthday today.
Justin
Someone
Danger, I
else's
seen
birthday,
your
so too.
comment. You need to do that. I think you'll be all right going to 210. You can
Yeah.
take on a champion. I'd love to see
Yeah,
Justin Danger taking on Jimmy Carrot. That'd be outstanding.
I'd love to see Justin Danger in DCCW. I don't know what the hell Mike's problem is. I'm about to give him a talking to.
You might see him Saturday.
Might. Never know. Never. He had a big weekend. Him and
Yeah.
Godfather and Pop Shango and
Boogeyman.
Boogeyman. They had a big weekend this past weekend. And he's announced a big thing coming up with Mark Henry over in the UK for next year, early next year.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back next Monday at 6:30.
Yep.
Around there.
646, 647, whatever.
Sometime
But,
between
please hit
6:30
that
and
subscribe button.
we're gonna do like college. And I remember I went to college for 2 years, and the professor says if we're not here after a half hour after where I'm supposed to be, then the show's canceled. So if we don't go live by 7 and we haven't heard from us, then just go do whatever. We're not going. We're not doing it.
Yeah, we have 30 minutes. Okay.
That gives
We got
Chris
30
time to
minute
get his
leeway.
act together. It gives
Oh.
Chris time to get his act together.
He knows whose fault it is.
It was your fault. Okay.
My fault. I was in
Hey,
here ready.
I
I was in here too.
You're on the other side.
28.
I was in here. I just couldn't get the shit to work.
That was about 6:35.
Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, X, Instagram at Gonzo Sports Room as well. And we'll see you next week.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is G.W.R show. They've been trying to get me on this podcast forever, and this is the worst damn podcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.